Hi guys, Steve here from S&G Painting and Decorating. Going to talk over this external project that we're doing, front and back. So all the processes that we use and the products, etc. So first of all, we're going to remove the guttering and remove anything else that needs to come off, signage, etc. And we're going to go ahead and start scraping back, getting rid of all of that paint off of those wooden areas there, off of all the woodwork, and then hit the masonry afterwards. We make sure we chase out all the cracks, we find anything that's blown and we pull it out. So it takes a bit of time actually, but it's very important because there's no point painting over something that's ready to fall off the wall. So once we've done that, we've done the metal work. These are the kind of results. This is what you get to see. It looks a lot worse, but of course it needed to come off. We then go ahead and then we'll put our fungicidal wash on. We're using a Dulux Trade fungicidal wash, and we'll apply that pretty much to most areas of the building, and then we leave that for 24 hours, and then we go ahead and we degrease. We give the whole property a wash, basically, just using fairy liquid and a sponge actually, but it's amazing. It pulls off so much dirt and grime, and then after that, and grease. After that, we'll go ahead and we're giving this actually a hot jet wash, and as you can see, it's actually pulling off paint. That's paint that really the area probably hadn't been prepared properly there, and it was pulling that paint off. Once we've all the nooks and crannies, getting in there, spending quite a bit of time. I think we spent a day jet washing this property, and I think we ended up doing the garden floor as well, just for the sake of it. Really, it's quite therapeutic. Once we've done that, we're going to get onto the filling. So wood rot hardener first of all for any areas that needed it, and then just some filler, some 2-part filler inside there. I think they were deep gaps, so we had to put some foam filler in first. Once we've done that, we then move on to the masonry and fill. Go around, do all of the filling. We use quite a bit of masonry filler on this job. Once that's all dried out, we'll go ahead and start sanding back. We'll work on the wood first actually, so we work on the wood and then we move down onto the masonry, making sure we get that all nice and flat. And then once we're there, we'll do the metal work as well, give that a good sand. Anything that needs it, really, anything that we can flatten with a sander, we're gonna flatten it. It always helps. Same with the UPVC, which of course we wash off with methylated spirits as well, so that paint really does adhere, because we wouldn't recommend painting UPVC pipes. Really, just replace them. It's as cheap to replace it as it is to pay a decorator to paint it. We only done that in this circumstance because we'd kind of overlooked it in the beginning. We were through the project and it was only 2 down pipes, so not the end of the world. Once that's done, we're going to peel stop. Make sure we stabilize that the surface. We basically peel stopped the whole building. Everything was peel stopped actually. It's a great product. And then we use CT1 as our caulking. That seals areas, so it just makes sure that you've got good seals so the weather can't get in. And then we're going to use, or we did use, a Santex Trade Flexi Gloss oil-based 16-hour drying time product on the wood. It really just sinks in. We feel that gives that, the protection that you really need, especially in some of these areas that are generally overlooked. Even when a decorator will go up, they normally go on a ladder to something of this height, and they'll just kind of toss it on. So if that happens in future, at least now the job's been done properly. Rust inhibitor on all the rusted areas as well, and then we'll move back to the top coat now on the woodwork. We're using an MSP on this, a Bedeck MSP, because we were painting some metal and some other plastic areas in white, so we just decided to go with the MSP on this one. So this had, I think we ended up putting 3 coats of this on, and then we of course put the guttering back up just in case the rain comes. Of course, this didn't all just happen in a day. This is, I think, a 2.5 week project. New screws in the guttering, so that's handy as well. Great for the client, you know, just kind of make sure that it stays up there for longer. And then we just use the Hammerite 3-in-1 primer on the metalwork. We actually put a minimum of 2 coats of this stuff on. If you get something like a Rust-Oleums, you can generally just put 1 on, but with a Hammerite, 2 coats at least. And then we get on to the metal work. The reason we're doing it this way round, by the way, we'd normally do this stuff last as a top coat, but the reason we're doing this is because our masonry paint took forever to arrive, the coloured masonry paint at least. But there was also an added benefit that you can actually, as you could see with that horseshoe, just kind of paint all the way around onto the wall and get a good seal, and that does help prevent that rust from kind of shadowing onto the wall. Once we've done that, we move on to the masonry. We're using the Plier Light by Zinza, an amazing product. We just love it. It's the results are great. So of course 2 coats and 3 coats to all those horizontal surfaces. Sometimes you might find areas aren't completely flat, or blown areas that you didn't notice. Go back. What we've done is gone back and we've just opened them up and refilled and repainted. I mean, that's the process. Once we've done that, we'll move on to the walls. Again, so a minimum of 2 coats, absolute minimum, but any areas where the weather hits, those horizontal areas, we'll always put 3 coats on. And then at the base here, we're just adding that bitumen 2 coat system there, just to make sure that that's all nice and weatherproofed. And that's basically it. That's it in a nutshell. These are the results. Yeah, we're really happy with this job, the way it turned out. Of course we clean down the windows, clean everything down. I mean, we do a lot of cleaning as we go to make sure that we're not getting any dust particles etc onto the walls, that those walls are as sound as they possibly can be when the peel stop and then the paint goes on there. Yeah, so any questions, please ask. At least if you want to attempt something like this, you can do it yourself. You know the process, you know the materials that we used, you can do this too. But if not, we're happy to do it for sure. We're absolutely happy to do it 100%. And this is how we do it. This is the process that we use. And I mean, this job, I think, we've given this a 2-year guarantee minimum. So yeah, give us a call. We're based down in Folkestone, Sandgate, Hive, surrounding area. That's where we work. We try not to go too far afield. But yeah, S&G Painting and Decorating. You can find us on all the social media. We do airless spraying, cabinets, Venetian plastering, other bits and pieces. Check out our YouTube.